And we are on. You're listening to ARTFusion, the art music radio show, Saturday at noon, Talk 1260 AM KTRC and 103.7 FM, Santa Fe News Talk Leader. We have a fantastic show. As always, we have a friend of mine, Lisa Porter Lawrence, as our visual artist. Welcome, Lisa.
Thank you.
All the way from Las Vegas, New Mexico. And we have Deanna Benjamin. And I know very little about Deanna except that Wendy Ludlow recommended her highly, and I've heard her warm up, and I was so relieved to hear her voice and the way she plays. Because when you don't know anybody, you never know. So, welcome, Deanna.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And what are you going to bless us with?
Well, I'm going to start out with a song called Phases. This is a pretty new one.
Phases.
Phases, yes. Deanna Benjamin. Beautiful song, man. Nice. And we're going to be talking with Deanna a little bit later in the show because I know very little about her. I know a few things about her now because I had a chance to talk to her before the show. I know you have a daughter, but we'll leave that out of there. And we're going to be talking with Lisa Porter Lawrence. And I met Lisa when she came into Artisan, and I happened to be at the front. And she was doing and is doing this huge mural project in Las Vegas, New Mexico. But before we get into what you're doing now, let's explore a little bit about
who you are.
Where I've been.
Where you been? Where have you been?
Where have I been all this time? I've been still trying to figure that out.
Born Ohio.
I was born in Ohio, on the river, had a great view, loved it. Just totally like Mark Twain imprinted in me.
Okay.
And
siblings? Any brothers, sisters?
I had 2 sisters and a brother.
Okay.
And one surviving sister today.
Okay.
And then my family moved to New Jersey. We went to the East Coast. And then I just spent my years there, my formative years, as they say, until 1981. And I began having visions, which had never happened to me directly like that before.
Visions when you were sleeping, or visions of...
No, I was wide awake. This is really interesting.
Yeah, it is. You know, backing up for just a second, because another thing I found interesting, because I looked at your website, which is Lisa Porter Lawrence Art LLC.com, right?
Lisa Porter Lawrence LLC.com.
Right, okay. I looked at that, and one of the interesting things about your house in Ohio, I have a granddaughter that when she was little was constantly talking to spirits in the closet, and a spirit that lived in the closet. She outgrew this eventually, but she would have full conversations, and it was a little alarming to her parents a little bit, but then I think a lot of kids have that. But I read something about that you had a troll or something that was...
Oh my gosh, did I put that on the website?
Yes, it was on your website. That there was a troll living in your house that you were talking to. And I found that interesting because it really hit home with me, having a granddaughter that was talking to a spirit.
Yeah, well, let me tell you something. They can take you by surprise. I mean, I would go up to this attic in our very small little brick house, and it had a swinging door. You go up, push it, and you go in the attic. And in the back, there was this little guy who showed up, and he looked to me like one of Snow White's 7 dwarfs.
You saw him.
I saw him. Well, I could see through him.
You see, yeah, okay.
And like stars, some stars, you can see them more clearly if you look beside them instead of straight at them. That's the way this guy was.
Okay.
And so if I looked just to his left, I could see him. And he had a belt, he had high boots, he had a beard, he had a staff, and he had beady little eyes, and it's giving me chills just to tell you about it.
Well, it was on your website. I didn't mean to bring it up, but it's a kind of common knowledge. Anyway, I find that fascinating. I find it true because I've experienced this. I haven't experienced that, but I experienced it through my granddaughter. We've actually talked about it on field trips because she remembers it very vividly. You know,
and my sister saw this thing too, but we didn't know that until we were in our 20s.
Okay.
And we were at a party, and she mentioned it.
Okay, so we'll move on from that. So you grew up in Ohio on the river, and then Baltimore. You went to Maryland.
I went to Goucher College, and then I went to Maryland Institute College of Art for a year to pick up some how-to stuff, and then I attended the Hofburger Graduate School of Painting for about 6 months.
Okay.
And then I really began having this longing for a desert climate, and I didn't know where.
Okay.
And I didn't know what. But I was showing in galleries, and the track seemed set to be showing in New York and Baltimore and staying
on the East Coast
art scene. And this became overwhelming. The desert thing.
Okay.
So I had to explore it, and it eventually took me to the Southwest, and I saw that some of the things I'd seen in the vision, the places actually existed, and that was very trippy. And
so
very
you had a premonition in your vision and you actually saw it where you're going to end up.
Well, actually, it's you know, it said Arizona in the bottom, you know, in big capital letters.
Well, I'm from Arizona. You picked a better state, and nothing against Arizona. I mean, Phoenix is anyway. We have to take a break. We'll get back into this. We're talking with Lisa Porter Lawrence. We have Deanna Benjamin. She's going to play another song. You're listening to ARTFusion, the art music radio show, Saturday at noon, Talk 1260 AM KTRC and 103.7 FM. We'll be right back. Hang on.
Hi, how are you doing? Good, how are you? Good, good.
That's how quick it goes. So,
Yeah, well, that was,
yeah. So after this song,
yeah,
we're going to get right into
into the nitty-gritty.
into the nitty-gritty. We're going to get into, I think, your project that you're doing in
Okay.
Las Vegas.
Right.
And I'll just lead into that ended up in Las Vegas. You did spend some time in Santa Fe, ended up in Las Vegas, and you got this project going on. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Because it does go quick.
We don't have to, yeah, it does go quick. I mean, no, you can get sidetracked.
Well, Danny keeps talking about getting me a 3-hour show, but you know, I don't know.
Ron, which granddaughter?
Eileen.
Eileen.
Yeah, Eileen, in their house that they had over there, was spending a lot of time talking to a being in a closet, and Jess worried about it and stuff, and then Eileen wanted to talk, and I said, I believe you, I totally believe you. A lot of people would try to say it wasn't true,
Right.
and so we went on a field trip, and all she wanted to talk to me about is that experience, because she remembers it so clearly.
Well, she's such an open little girl.
Yeah.
You know, and my parents went along with it for just so long, and then they told me they were gonna have to take me to a doctor. And so I actually, I knew, you know what that means when you're a kid. It's curtains. So I went up the stairs to the attic, and I've been afraid of this guy. And I walked all the way to the back, and I pointed my finger at him.
He was up there when you went up there?
Yeah, he was always up there. Even my mother went up there to sort through boxes. I'd go up, and he would duck every time she turned around. And I just thought it was a conspiracy anyway. So this had gone on for, I don't know, a year, a couple years. I pointed my finger at him, and I told him, I said, you do not exist. And poof. And then I sat down, and I went, oh my gosh, I killed this thing. And
How old were you?
I was probably about 6.
Wow.
I was probably about 6. And so when I talked to my sister later about this, and we were in our 20s, she was saying, yeah, but then one day, he was just not there anymore. And I just looked terrible, and she said, you offed him, didn't you?
Wow.
And I said, yeah, I did.
That's cool that she was seeing them too. I mean, that's
I know.
gotta be
Yeah.
helpful for
Yeah.
mental health.
Yeah.
Okay. Ready to go? All right. So we'll second section. We'll go right back into you.
Okay.
All right. And we are back. You're listening to Art Fusion, the art music radio show, Saturday at noon, Talk 1260 AM KTRC and 103.7 FM, Santa Fe News Talk Leader. We were talking with Lisa Porter Lawrence, and we were exploring her experiences in Ohio, going to school in Maryland, but we're going to have to jump into what she's doing in Las Vegas, New Mexico, because it's so super cool. But we have Deanna Benjamin here, and she sang a beautiful song the first time, and I bet you got another song.
You bet. So this one's called BB Sting. I also like to call it 45. All right, here we go. I can't believe this. It makes me so sick. And I'm almost speechless. How could this happen? Just like that. It will work out if you stand on the side of hope. Yeah, I can see more love than fear, and growth is a one-way road. Yeah, you only go forward. Will I cave in? Just try me. So just try me. The great offender, it's the highest honor.
great song. Cool. I can
Thank you.
picture a lot of drum. I love the way you change tempos too.
Thank you.
Drive drummers crazy, but
Right.
yeah, okay. Cool stuff. We're going to be talking with Deanna Benjamin just a little bit later. We were exploring Lisa Porter Lawrence coming out to New Mexico, and she spent some time in Santa Fe, but we don't have time to really talk about that because let's talk about Las Vegas, New Mexico. How'd you end up in Las Vegas?
Let's just say I got there.
You got there.
We're going down rabbit holes.
Okay.
Okay.
You got to Las Vegas,
I'm there.
and I met you because I was helping you find some stuff. You had questions about this project that you're doing for the shelter there.
Right.
And why don't we
Right.
talk about that? Because
Okay.
this is like a major thing.
So about 10 years ago, when I moved to Las Vegas about 11 years ago,
Okay.
and about a year after being there, I wanted to contribute to the community, and what I do is make art. So I wanted to donate my time to the homeless shelter at that time.
Oh, cool.
And it didn't work out for one reason or another, and it finally did this year because they're relocating, and it just coincided perfectly. However, they were having construction issues, so I wound up, instead of painting actual walls, because that was an uncertain proposition, I took boards home
Okay.
and painted them. And the first mural is 4 by 7 feet, and the let's see, that's the largest one, and then there are 4 by 5 feet and 4 by 3 feet. Is this better or worse? Is it this close? Okay.
No, it's good.
Okay.
So what are the themes? Let's go your first one. What did they give you guidelines of what they wanted? Nothing.
Which was beautiful.
That's good.
I love a client like that, you know. That's it. So, and this was, I just walked in, of course they saw my website, and they loved what they saw on my website. And so, bearing in mind that when we human beings are displaced, we're not usually that calm or happy about it. And so we need something soothing and reassuring and very grounding. So, I would just pray, truly,
Yeah.
before I started any of these paintings, and I never knew what they were going to be. And they just came out, they all wound up being landscapes, very calm, very soothing, not like this dynamic piece that I brought behind me.
You can always look and see the artwork of the visual artist if you go to Artisan's Facebook page. So go to Artisan's Facebook, everything's on video. You can always go to santafe.com, the show's a podcast, but if you want to actually see the artwork, go to Artisan's Facebook page. And Lisa has a piece behind here which is very, very cool, a blue heron and kind of a space piece, but this is not the kind of work.
No, but the sky is falling in this one, and the title of the painting is Poise, because the blue heron is just holding it together.
Well,
Like
for a shelter, that kind of makes sense.
Well,
You're
it
poised while your sky
does.
is falling in. and-
it does,
Yeah,
it does
okay.
in a way, but I think they need to be more grounded. That's
Okay.
just my personal thought.
And I have actually been following, because we became friends after waiting on her at Artisan, and I've been following her work that she's been doing there, and they are peaceful. I mean, you have like serene river scenes and butterflies and peaceful.
Right. Tall grass,
Yeah.
flowing water,
Yeah,
swallow dipping its wing into a pond.
yeah.
Yes, lovely, soothing, and then a path going into nothing but, what are those things? Those little daisy-like things, sunflowers.
Okay.
Sunflowers, and yeah, very, very ethereal. And I played this music. I talked to because music, as we know, is so important. And so I had a deadline, and I knew people going to the shelter needed encouragement. I found what worked for me, which was a group called Fearless Motivation.
Fearless Motivation.
Yes, and they're purely orchestral. I found them on YouTube. They're
This
inspirational.
is the music group.
This
that
is
get-
just
they
the
got
music, yeah. And they do shorts with names like empowerment and stuff like that.
Is the work at the shelter yet?
No, it's, the shelter is behind construction. It's gonna go up, and we're hoping for the opening to be in April.
for those of you that aren't familiar with Las Vegas, New Mexico, this shelter is kind of behind Charlie's Spick and Span. As you come in, there's a park that you cut in to go to Charlie's Spick and Span, and it's right on the left. Am I correct? It's on the left before.
It shares a parking lot with Dick's.
Okay.
And it's on 7th Street, the corner of 7th and Lincoln,
Yeah.
and there will be an opening there.
Did they have a date yet?
No.
So they're
not
waiting.
yet.
They're the construction is
Yeah,
construction.
because
and they
you
never-
know how that goes. There's always one thing or another that comes up. But it's meant a lot to me to be able to finally get this realized, and I'm really looking forward to it being out there. And everybody at the shelter has been so wonderful.
How many pieces total?
7.
7. All the same size? All that large size?
All large, yeah.
Okay.
And then there'll probably be a couple of prints that we have up there also. And not sure yet if there'll be anything smaller on an easel for sale as part of a fundraiser.
Oh,
That's
okay.
still up in the air.
Okay. So, just to be clear, Lisa also does her own artwork, which you can see at LisaPorterLawrenceLLC.com. And she also has, we stock some of her bags that she does at Artisan, but you also do like a, oh, and there's one if you see the video. And we are out of
There's one right
time, but
here.
there's a bag right there. So we'll be right back. You're listening to Art Fusion, the Art Music Radio Show, Saturday at noon, Talk 1260 AM KTRC. We'll be right back. Hang on.
That's ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Absolutely ridiculous. We're gonna have to rewind that.
That's what I told you when
Oh,
you asked
I
about
know
the
you
questions.
did.
I said,
I
don't
know.
worry about it. It happens. And in this section, we're just going to talk.
Okay.
You good, Danny?
Oh, I think it's been entertaining so far. Are we still on? No.
Yeah, of course we're on. Oh, I forgot to tell you that.
Oh, stop.
No, we are. All
Yes?
Yeah, we are.
Oh.
All the video runs all the time. It's interesting what happens in the room.
Oh, yeah, I think it does, especially when you don't know.
Especially when you don't know. Did you just pick your nose or something?
Yeah, I know. I stopped the impulse.
Okay. And we are back. You're listening to Art Fusion, the Art Music Radio Show, Saturday at noon, Talk 1260 AM KTRC and 103.7 FM, Santa Fe News Talk Leader. I have just a couple announcements. If you're listening on Saturday on the radio and you're wondering, what can I do tonight that's going to be cool? I got the coolest event happening because there is a young piano player, Caden Kelly, and he is Juan Kelly's son, and Juan Kelly has new art. And this guy is unbelievable. He came, and I have a piano here at Artisan, and he played the piano here. This is a whole group of prodigies they're going to have at the Lensic. They have Angelical Hale, which she was on America's Got Talent. She was the youngest runner-up. They have a violin player, Carolina Protsensko from the Ukraine, and she was on Ellen DeGeneres show. And then they have Caden Kelly, and he's our local star. And seriously, go see this. It's March 7th, Saturday at 7:30 at the Lensic. He is one of these kids, I don't know how old he is, 11 or so, and unbelievable piano player. He plays Chopin and Beethoven and Mozart, and it's all his interpretation. Doesn't look at any of the music, he just gets it, and you're gonna say, I heard this kid win, honestly, because he's gonna be all over. He is all over the world right now, but he's gonna be major. So that's at Lensic, 7:30. So go see that if you have a chance. So welcome, Deanna.
Thank you.
Deanna Benjamin. The only thing I know about Deanna Benjamin is she knows Wendy Ludlow, and she's played at Tumbleroot, and she has a daughter. So where are you from?
Well, I'm originally from North Dakota, but raised in South Dakota.
Okay.
And then I spent about 10 years in Omaha before moving to the lovely Santa Fe.
And how long have you been out here?
Just over 8 years now.
What brought you out here?
Kind of came for work. I'm a lymphedema therapist, which most people don't know what that is. But it's highly specialized, and there's not enough of us in the world.
Does that do with lymph nodes?
It does, yeah.
Yay!
So swelling. So basically I use my hands to move people's lymph fluid and make their swelling better. make them feel better.
Oh, intuitively, or you were trained? You
No,
probably
no,
trained.
it's science, yeah. Although
Okay.
there is a little heart in it too, but
Okay.
very rewarding work. So that's why I moved out here with my daughter. She was a kindergartner then. She's now an 8th grader, so that's fun.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, we love living here.
So when you're not moving lip fluid,
Yep.
your music side, you sing beautifully. You have a beautiful
you.
voice, and I love the way you break up your songs, and your songwriting is great. Where did this come from?
Thank
Were you
you.
trained in this? Or?
You know, I started singing when I was, I don't know, born, I guess, and started out kind of in church and in school. I did honors choirs and things like that, and also played clarinet, you know, from 5th grade on.
Really?
But it actually wasn't until college we were actually bowling with friends, and I heard a Sheryl Crow song on the radio, and I thought, that doesn't sound very hard. I should learn guitar. So I borrowed
It's
my
hard to
mom's.
sing with clarinet, probably playing.
Yeah,
sing.
very true, very
Yeah.
true, yeah.
That'd
And
be
I've always
great.
kind of dabbled in piano, but, you know, it was just that moment, I thought, I'm gonna learn guitar, so I borrowed my mom's.
In college, you were college.
Yeah, I was in
age.
college,
Okay.
yeah. And she had an old, I think it was a Hal Leonard book in there, so the first song I learned was She'll Be Coming Around the Mountain.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I actually recall that it was kind of hard at first to sing and play at the same time. It was like one thing would stop or the other, and, you know, it took a little bit of effort, and
I'm a piano player, and I learned the same thing. It's hard when you first get that down to sing. It's like patting your
Yeah.
head and your
Right.
stomach. So yeah.
which is amazing now because you don't even think about it, you know, it's just second nature.
Where did your songwriting come from? Because these are original songs you're
They
playing?
are, yeah. You know, I actually started writing songs before I really put them to an instrument. The first song I can recall writing, I was with my cousin on a bus in Thailand. And I'd write a
Really?
verse and he'd write a verse, and we went back and forth.
Writing songs or poetry or?
Writing songs, yeah, melodies with it,
Okay.
yeah.
And then you came back and put the chords to it, or?
No, never did, just kind of, you know, just something we sang, and we kind of write pop love songs, and I still kind of do that. But
Okay.
of course, once I got the guitar in my hands, then, you know, there was no more rules, everything just kind of came out, and, you know, it's one of those things, I think when a song hits you, it's just kind of there, it's something you've been thinking about, and for me, I kind of get that hook, or that theme of what I'm feeling,
Yeah.
and usually it's vocally first, and then sit down with the guitar and kind of work on it then, and get the verses put in.
Your day job is full time?
Yes,
Oh.
yep, I actually manage a sports medicine clinic too.
Oh, you do
So,
both?
yeah, and I run a nonprofit for lymphedema in town.
Really?
Yeah.
Gee, when do you
Check that
find
out.
time for your music? What are you? So you met Wendy. You were telling me at Tumbleroot.
And Tumbleroot. Yeah, we used to go to the open mics. They used to have them every Wednesday, so I was a regular,
Okay.
which was really fun. Now I'm going to Chili Line on Mondays, so you can find me there. April 13th, I'll be the guest spotlight performer.
Those of you that haven't been out to Chili Line, I was actually out this week because Bill Hearn was a guest, and man, that lane meet is rocking out there. I mean, they got the legal tender open, and I know Jerry Carthy plays out there, but man, the Chili Line is bringing in all kinds of talent. Ron Regal was playing out there, and Bill Hearn was backing him up, and you're going to be out there. I mean, what a
Yeah.
cool venue they're making out there.
Yeah, it's really great. It's a nice way to meet people, and they've had some really talented songwriters on Monday nights. So come on out if you're free on a Monday.
So Monday is open songwriting?
Yeah,
out there?
that's open for songwriters, yeah. So I'll hop up there, you know, some other dates, but I'll be that guest performer on the 13th of April.
13th of April.
Yeah, and they're doing a fun thing on Saturdays. They're doing acoustic karaoke. So a couple of friends of mine are playing guitar, and they know tons of cover songs. They've got lots of set lists there. And so anybody can get up and be the rock star for the moment. So that's been really fun.
Acoustic, so they're getting backed up by your friends?
Well,
Or-
yeah.
or you
I
pick
mean,
a
everyone's
song,
plugged in, but it's kind of like campfire feel, you know? So you
but
pick
it's
a popular
it's not
song.
recorded karaoke.
No, it's 2 guitarists, so a lead and an acoustic.
How cool is that?
It's really cool. I went last Saturday, sang a couple songs, and I mean, people really loved it. Everyone was waiting for their turn, and it just feels more genuine and more family-oriented than the kind of recorded digital karaoke does.
Well, I hate sounding old, but it's nice to go listen to live music during the day. You know,
Yes.
like they start at 12:30. I know on some of the weekends, and then another performer comes on at 3 o'clock, and you know, you go home and you have dinner, and it's fun to go out at night. But it sure is nice that some places are realizing that it's nice to listen to live performance during the day.
Absolutely.
And you can always come to Artisan at 11 o'clock on Thursday and hear live performance, because we always have great performers that have probably the earliest music that you can hear ever on a Thursday. So,
Right? I would agree. Thank you for having me.
So Dina, what are you gonna do with your music? Where do you want to take it? What you got a plan, or have you ever thought about doing an album or putting
I've
it
done
down?
quite a few albums, mostly just home recordings. I did one in the studio in college with a band then. And I kind of rotate back and forth. I'll be with the band and then I'll do my acoustic thing again. And so right now I'm in that solo phase. But I am playing with a friend right now, Matt Tundell. He's also a great singer-songwriter. And I'm actually playing lead electric with him. And
What
so
does he play?
he plays acoustic. He plays kind of similar to me, very
Acoustic
passionate.
Rhythm or lead? Okay.
Yeah, rhythm more. So I'm playing lead.
Okay.
I'm kind of looking for a drummer. Seems like I'm always looking for a drummer. My last drummer moved to West Hollywood about 2 years ago. But I would really like to do more dance beats along with the kind of heartbreaking vocals.
Okay.
So that's kind of what calls to me, kind of like Broken Bells, if you know them, or Fantagram. So that's where I'm headed. But kind of looking again for a drummer and bass player.
And then to get out around Santa Fe and start playing
Yeah.
some of the local venues and stuff.
Absolutely. And I really want to record again too. So I'm hoping to get into Frogville and do some recording there with Jason Reed and kind of get maybe just an EP out.
Uh-huh.
So one of my goals in the last 2 years is just to be on the radio again. So I fulfilled that goal here today. So I appreciate that.
Well, very cool. Your band experience, where were you playing? Were you playing a band here?
We did play in a band here for a while, but we mostly did house parties.
Okay.
We had a touring guy that would come through and we'd play with him. We did Battle of the Bands in Pecos. But we really didn't get out into the bar scene here with that last band.
Well, house parties are the best gig that any performers can have.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with the bar scene, but it's nice when you have a listening crowd that they actually listen to the lyrics that you made, and
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a new thing in Santa Fe. I don't know if you've heard of So Far. Shows just came to Santa Fe. My friend Debbie has brought So Far here, and those are 3 original artists, and you don't know who they are or where the show's going to be. So it's a surprise.
Really?
You get the information that day, and
it's called So Far?
So Far, SOFAR, and you can find it on Facebook or on the web. And it's really about appreciating music, so they ask that everyone really pay attention. You don't have your phones out. You visit in between the 3 sets, but while the musician is playing, it's really focused on appreciating their art. So
How
it's very cool.
How cool is that? What a great idea.
Yeah, very cool.
Boy. We're talking with Deanna Benjamin. We are going to be right back. You're listening to Art Fusion, the art music radio show, Saturday at noon, Talk 1260 AM KTRC and 103.7 FM. We have Lisa Porter Lawrence, and we're going to explore a little bit more about what she's been doing in Las Vegas. Hang on.
Hey, you made it. You're perfect. That's cool. This is great. Thank you.
That's it? That's how quick it goes.
That's ridiculous.
Everyone that comes on is always nervous when they start about, what are you going to talk about? What are the questions? It's like, don't worry, this thing flies. Yeah, it does. And which makes it cool.
Yeah.
People's attention spans are much shorter than they used to be, so.
Yeah. Well, not if you're on the show.
Well,
Hopefully.
I want to talk to you. You have the project. Now I'd like to get into your own work and how people see it,
Okay.
and kind of what you do when you're not doing the big murals. And then I'll be watching the clock at about 4 minutes, and I'll let you do your last song, so we just kind of close the show as it takes us the song.
Should I get the mic up and set? Just hold your attention.
Never known anybody that moved lip fluid.
At least she's not bottling it.
Yeah, that's true.
Is that for cancer? Cancer lymph
Yeah,
nodes?
very often, yeah. They remove the lymph nodes and the fluid has nowhere to go. So it's kind of trapped, so I reroute it to actually other lymph nodes that can take the.
What happens if you don't
process
reroute
it?
it?
The body part just gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
It just swells in the lymph nodes.
Yep.
That's
It's
why a
hard.
lot of people have big necks, right?
They could, yeah, you can get lymphedema in the head and neck. You can be born with it too, though. There's a lot of different ways, even a bad surgery, it could happen.
Really?
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be cancer, it can be just your lymph fluid is in your body.
Yep, yep. And it usually gets stuck in like one quadrant, one leg, one arm, and it traps. exercise is good if you have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you can't do
Exercise
it.
moves the lymph.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, the muscle pumps help.
Okay.
So yeah, it's kind of a unique thing, but
Wow,
it's
that's
cool
unique.
because it works on everyone. As long as your organs work, I can make you better in an hour. You know, I mean, it takes several treatments if it's bad, but it's cool to do something that you can like make that difference.
Make a huge difference in someone's life.
Yeah, kind of stumble into it.
Okay.
And we are back. You're listening to Art Fusion, the art music radio show, Saturday at noon, Talk 1260 AM KTRC and 103.7 FM, Santa Fe News Talk Leader. We were talking about lymph fluid during the break. We are back, and it's very interesting stuff, and it's really rewarding work. It's really cool that you put your heart in your music, but you also put your heart in your work and help people. That's a lot to be said. So that's Deanna Benjamin, and she's going to be playing another song. Just a reminder for those of you that are looking to get into the art scene, we are still doing the big event at Buffalo Thunder, September 25th. We rent the whole place. We run 100 art workshops, 86 vendors that we sell art supplies come into town. It's huge. So it's free to get in the vendor floor. ExpoArtisan.com to look at all the different workshops that we're doing. So check it out. So Lisa, besides the big old murals and the cool thing that you're doing at the shelter, you have an art career and you've always been an artist. And we have these really cool bags of Artisan that we have. What else? What?
Well, those have segments of various paintings that I've done, and I just pulled them all together and made collages and made bags with them.
Okay.
So, but right now, after I finish, I'm working on a painting at the moment of a giant spirit, which you've seen that,
Yeah.
because I've sent you the shot.
Yeah.
But I'm very much in transition. So my house is for sale in Las Vegas. It's beautiful.
She's got a
Everybody
beautiful
looking for a
6-bedroom
home.
house
Yes.
for sale in Las Vegas in the mid 300 range, and I mean,
In
unbelievable.
the
for a
historic district,
in a historic district.
quasi-Victorian.
So-
Queen Anne.
So the first caller can buy her house. If you want to bid on her house, call Artisan. And I want to get a 6%
It's got a
commission like a
studio in the
realtor.
back.
Hey.
Yeah.
But
So
you
that-
also, wait a second, there's a lot you do. I mean, you were working with a jeweler that was doing plastic jewelry, embedding your images in jewelry line too.
Yes, that was a while ago, and some of that may have wound up in the Smithsonian. I'm not sure, but that was many years ago. I also was doing wearable art, which I sold at Origin.
Okay.
That was when I first moved out here.
Dresses, shirts, types of
They
stuff, or-
were tabards, which are tunics, and
Oh, okay.
also T-shirts, but they were one-of-a-kind wearable art and scarves and things like that. And I still have some of those, but I moved from one project to the other, from painting furniture to painting. I painted murals in my house, of course. I had to do that.
Are they
And
still in your house as you?
I'm still in my house.
So if someone wants to buy your house, they get free murals?
Yes.
How cool is that?
Actually,
Yeah.
you walk in the front door and going up the staircase is clouds, and you just climb the staircase to heaven, right? And then I painted the great outdoors in one of the bathrooms. So I mean, literally.
Great outdoors in your house?
Yeah, it's around the bathtub. So when you go into the bathtub, you are sitting in a bathtub surrounded by tall grass and flowers and birds.
So I'm just curious, realtors usually when they want to sell a house, they come in and they want you to generically paint your walls and
I
make
know. I know.
it. So
I know.
did
Well,
they say that to you?
no.
Okay.
No, they did not. But
Right.
you never know with a mural what the next person's going to want. So, but at any rate, and my dog is lucky that she moves a lot, because I have told people that if it will hold still long enough, I'll paint it. So I paint furniture, walls, canvases.
Did you know as a little
Pianos.
girl that you were going to be a painter?
Yes, I did. I've been painting since I was 3, and I was laying out in the grass in the backyard in Ohio above the river. And I looked up at the clouds, and I could see myself in my own apartment years down the road. I knew it wasn't in Ohio. And then I was a painter. I was an artist.
So you've been having visions your whole life?
My whole life, yeah.
Do your visions always come true or mostly come true? Or?
For better or worse, they or they seem to be inevitable. Yes. They do.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I totally get it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what are you going to do when you sell your house in Las Vegas? Do you have any plans? What
No, I don't. I haven't been able to make any plans at all. I know that I'm going to need enough room to create. I'm also a writer, and I've got a 500-page manuscript. So there's lots of things on my plate.
Okay.
I won't be, hard put for something to do.
I would suggest everybody check out Lisa Porter Lawrence Art LLC.com, and that has your
Lisa
bags.
Porter Lawrence
LLC.com.
Right.
Boy, you made that simple for everybody to remember.
Lisa Porter Lawrence LLC.com. I don't know. Anyway, it works.
Okay. Because you have merchandise that people can bags
Yes.
and check out your
Yes, but they
artwork.
can get the
and-
bags right here too.
Yeah, come on to Artisan, Come
Yeah.
into Artisan and come into 11 on Thursday, and then you can listen to live music like Deanna Benjamin, who has one more song because we're out of time. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Good fun. And thank you for
Too
coming
short.
on.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you, Lisa.
What you got for your last song?
This song is called Waking Up.
Waking Up.
Yeah. It's time to wipe clean the slate. To never guilty in the first place. It's time to get on your way. And our penance has been paid. And now I want you face to face. Sit in my side and in my space. Cause you make me feel like waking up. Still remember that you loved me back. And you made me feel like I'm not crazy after all. It's so damn, and it's powerful. I've been wrong, I hate to say it, but I can't take that pain away. If we could take our chance today for inspiration and for love's sake, 'cause you're not happy in that place. See, I want that to change. 'Cause you made me feel like waking up. Still remember that you loved me back. And you make me feel like I'm not crazy after all. That's so damn, oh, it's powerful. Hey, baby, what if maybe
Whitmore.
If you're looking for something to do tonight and you're listening on the radio right now and you're just tuning in, go catch Caden Kelly. I don't know how old he is, 10, 11-year-old. He's a major prodigy piano player. He's going to be playing at the Lennox at 7:30, March 7th, Saturday. Go see him. Listen to Art Fusion, the Art Music Radio Show, Saturday at noon, Talk 1260 AM, KTRC, and 103.7 FM. Thanks, guests. This has been fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, it has been fun.
We'll see you next week.